Hey, what's happening guys? It's the Visuals Peak and today on the Retro Show I have Shahin. How's it going, bro?
Yeah,
Good, yeah?
bad,
Have to talk about Liverpool. What happened? Come on, man.
Well, 3 points in the bag. Liverpool,
But it wasn't easy. It was not
It wasn't
walking
easy.
apart.
I mean, Leeds they're gonna be a tough team to beat this year. They've got a good manager.
They are.
play good, attractive football. They only know one way, and that is to attack. So it was a
I
good
know,
game.
but like the last
you
year
never
Liverpool
get a
was
dull game at
unstoppable.
Anfield. Yeah.
I feel like you guys need fans there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not the Liverpool of last year.
Yeah.
Unstoppable.
But I'm optimistic though.
Alright. Anyways, guys, let's get straight into the show. So the first question, what was your favourite game genre?
So favorite game genre, I'd have to split that between two eras. Growing up, it was all about beat 'em up games. So I would say beat 'em up games. But then, from mid to late teens, it all then went on to sports games. In specific, being more specific, football games. So FIFA from then onwards was my favorite. If FIFA was a genre, I'd choose FIFA.
Yeah.
But yeah, my best favorite sports game was FIFA, and I'd say favorite genre was sports.
Okay, good. What was your first console?
My first console was the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Nintendo NES. Came out late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, that was my first gaming console.
Alright, so what was your favourite Sega Mega Drive game?
Sega Mega Drive was a console that had a variety of games that I enjoyed, but if I had to pick out a top three, I would say Shinobi, Mortal Kombat, and Super Mario. But if you were to push me to pick one, I would go with Mortal Kombat.
Sega Mega Drive didn't have Mario.
Sorry, Sonic.
Nintendo,
Sonic, yeah.
Alright, cool. Did you own a Super Nintendo?
I didn't. I went from the Nintendo Entertainment System to the Sega Mega Drive.
What was your favourite PS1 game?
Again, a console that had a variety of games that I enjoyed, but if I had to really pick one, it would be Driver. I really enjoyed Driver. For my era, it was what GTA is today. The levels, the missions, the driving, the criminal aspect of it. It was just really a really fun game to play.
Did you own any handheld consoles like Game Boy?
I did. I had the Game Boy Color. I had Pokemon Red on that, which was so enjoyable. I do have a PS Vita at the moment, which is again a simple but effective handheld console in terms of the remote play feature. I can play my PS4 remotely from anywhere, which is quite a useful option to have.
So what's the best retro console you've played?
Up to PS1?
Yeah, anything from like Commodore 64, Atari to PS1,
I would say the PS1.
PS1? Okay.
Yeah, I would say the PS1. Again, simply because of the innovation that it brought, and it was the console to have when I was growing up. And yeah, it was just it was the console that had the most games that I played.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say is the worst console you've played?
All consoles. Retro. Okay. All consoles had their advantages, but I would say the NES, simply because it didn't have a save game feature. You had to play the game through all the levels, and not. You couldn't pause. I had to pause the game if I wanted to continue it the next day because I wasn't able to save it. That was really frustrating, not being able to save game.
Okay. What's the most frustrating game you've played? So you liked the game, but it was frustrating.
Super Mario and the NES was frustrating simply because I couldn't save the game. I had to go through all the levels. That was quite annoying.
The thing about Super Mario as well is like you bump your head on a thing.
Yeah.
If you get touched by a mushroom, you die.
Yeah, and Sonic.
That's frustrating. Sonic, you just lose rings.
You don't really.
That's very frustrating, but it's a fun game.
It is fun.
And it's very popular. Everyone likes it. What's the best movie game that you have watched?
Street Fighter was good. But I would have to go with the Mortal Kombat series.
Same.
That was just really enjoyable. Both the first one and Annihilation, the second one. If I had to pick out the two, I would pick Annihilation. The sequel to the first one. That was really, really good.
Yeah. If you had to change anything about a game, what would it be and why?
This is me being a bit picky, but Pro Evolution Soccer, the amazing game that it was back in the mid-2000s, it just wasn't licensed enough. You had fake names, fake emblems, and changing all those details around took hours. It took away from the gaming aspect, because I had to sit there for hours getting the names right. I'm a bit fussy like that.
The only good thing about it is that they introduced like the transfers. You just update it.
Yeah.
But
that introduced data packs and stuff. Yeah, that helped a lot, but that came later on.
Yeah. So Sonic or Mario?
Sonic, simply because Sonic was the character that I grew up, enjoying a lot. I used to even draw Sonic as a kid.
It's easy, isn't it? Just a few triangles.
It's very easy to draw. Yeah, it's very easy to draw, and that game was the one that I enjoyed more than Super Mario.
Street Fighter or Tekken?
Street Fighter, again, simply because I grew up on that game, and Street Fighter of then was what FIFA is of today. Back when I was growing up, if you went to the local arcades or the youth centres, you would see everyone as a group playing Street Fighter, whereas if you fast forward to today, you'd see people playing FIFA. So for us, Street Fighter was what FIFA is for.
That is so true. I never actually thought of it like that, Nobody even spoke about Tekken.
Tekken.
Tekken. Tekken spoke about that.
Yeah, Tekken was not even spoken about.
Yeah, now it is though.
Tekken
more
3
than Street Fighter.
was a big breakthrough.
Yeah, big breakthrough, because they had the Tekken Force mode, which is where you beat up the villains on the street. And I kind of wish like Street Fighter had that, because it's called Street Fighter, but you're not fighting the street against villains, you're just fighting another character. Onimusha or Devil May Cry?
That's actually a difficult one, because I did enjoy Devil May Cry a lot. The ammunition in there, the all-round gaming experience on it was so good, but I would say Onimusha, simply because the story and the concept, I enjoyed it a lot, and also it was more gory. I'd say it was a bit more gory than Devil May Cry, so yeah, I'd choose Onimusha.
That's fair enough. PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation. And reason being because PlayStation was the console to have growing up. Everyone wanted a PlayStation. It was only later on, as I was getting older, that Xbox actually came out. I actually had all the PlayStations, but the one time I did switch over to Xbox was when the PlayStation 3 came out. I just didn't feel that it offered much of a difference other than the Wi-Fi experience to the PS2. I did have a PS3, but I enjoyed the Xbox a bit more in that period.
Who do you think had better controllers though?
So agreeing with your previous guests, I would say the Xbox controller grip was better. But for me, I'm used to the square, triangle, X and circle on the PlayStation controller. Okay,
so what about FIFA or PES? But not the FIFA or PES in our time right now, 2000s, mid-2000s.
It had to be Pro Evolution Soccer back then, simply because it was so good in terms of the gaming experience again. Again, Konami done amazing with that game during that period. I think it was untouchable. FIFA back then it just wasn't good enough. The control. You
just score from the halfway line.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't as realistic as Pro Evolution Soccer. Pro Evo came in with a whole new way of playing the game where it felt so real.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say Pro Evolution
Except
Soccer.
Inter Milan. That was just cheating, bro. Everyone was 99, literally. Alright, cool. Gran Turismo or Need for Speed?
I would say Gran Turismo. That's a driving simulator game. I'm fascinated by cars. I love cars. For me, that was more of a hands-on experience with actual real cars. The Suzuki Escudo in Gran Turismo 3, that was the car to have. It had like 400, 500 brake horsepower on it, and it was just, you know, it was just more of a better gaming experience.
Your favorite GTA game?
I would say Grand Theft Auto 3, Liberty City.
Thank you. Finally, someone agrees with me. Everyone says San Andreas, but you know, Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories.
I mean,
don't put them down. They were good games. They were very good games.
Yeah.
You know, like we were speaking earlier. Off camera, you was telling me Grand Theft Auto, when it came out, you can rob cars, you can go inside shops, you can go to the garage, you know, and get your car painted.
Just a whole new game.
That in 2000s, like, whoa! All of that in 2000 was just breathtaking.
It was.
This one's gonna be a difficult one, alright? Driver or the Getaway?
This is one of those preference questions that I literally can't answer. Driver is such an amazing game, but the Getaway 2 was also another amazing game, but it's difficult to pick one, but I'm gonna go with Driver simply because the Getaway 2 didn't live up to the expectations of the first one, whereas Driver 2 was also enjoyable for me. I enjoyed Driver 2 as well as Driver 1, so just based on that, both games were amazing, but just based on that, simply because the sequels weren't good enough.
What about Getaway 1 then?
Getaway 1 and Driver 1?
Yeah. Or you can compare it to Driver 2 if you wanted to. Because Getaway 1 was that good.
It was that good.
It was full screen as well.
Being London boys and with the game based in London, I love that. I loved that, but I just felt like Driver in terms of the story and the Getaway had a good story, but I'd say Driver simply because I was a kid back then and I just enjoyed that game so much. I think Getaway came when I was more like, you know, heading towards my teenage years. So yeah, I'd choose Driver. Okay,
so just the last question. Other than Driver, what's the best game you've ever played? Obviously, not today's games. From, you know, Atari, Commodore 64 to PS1.
Obviously, beat-em-up games, Street Fighter in particular. I love the whole Street Fighter series. I know you like your Street Fighter 2D games.
Come on now.
I did like Street Fighter Alpha 3, but for me, the Street Fighter game that I played the most was the Japanese version of EX2 Plus. Now that was in 3D.
It was square heads.
It was square heads, but I enjoyed it. I loved it. I loved the combos on that. It was a game that I enjoyed. But yeah, Marvel v Capcom, Street Fighter Alpha 3, they were all good.
Yeah.
For some
those
reason,
games were expensive when they came out. And they still are. They still are.
They're vintage now.
Alright guys, thank you for watching. If you agree or disagree with anything Shahin has said, please leave a comment below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.